So when I received the transmission, it was told to me that we were source. We all have a soul and we all have a particle, a God particle, and we are all the supreme creator. But there's only one source, supreme creator, but we are parts of it, you know. And that we wanted to expand and we created life in, you know, in many levels and all the dimensions and this plane. And then we did this experiment to unify, and some of this source code became corrupted, it seems. I don't know how, you know. And that the creator is expanding again and shifting, leaping forward in this realm, and that we have to ascend. In order to ascend, we need to go to the heart space to get the right. So like I just shared these keys that you have to go to the heart space to write the rest of the code yourself, because you are source, the creator, you know, and we all are, you know. So, and there's only one supreme creator, and all the religious books and spiritual books are based on this, so we remember who we are after this experience here, that we forgot who we are, that we became disconnected. So how this affected other dimensions is very different, and other constellations and other civilizations. And so we're going from this separated states to unified with source. And the reason why we should go back into the Christ consciousness is that we, in order to reach the Father, we have to become the Son, we have to become the Christ. And and then we get the right code. So nobody can tell you the truth but yourself. If you go to the heart, you remember you're the Christ. And if you spend time there and work on the virtues and work on yourself, you know, and you spend time in prayer or meditation, I would say. So this is like the transmission was about this, and that of course the Supreme Creator is going to lift us up from where we need to go to ascension, but we are also the body is body, and we are also have to connect and assist with this process. So the light workers, what we call the light workers, are just assistants of the Creator, and all of us are the body of the Creator. Some parts of us have become so corrupted that we forgot who we were. So the more of us wake up, the more of us will wake up. That's how the interpretation was given to me, and there's nothing to fear, because fear just empowers this corrupted aspect of creation to manifest here. And we can do this process with creativity and love and high vibrations. And I think it's so reflected in everything we've read, all of us, in different forms. It's been expressed in so many ways, and this message is everywhere. This is what I was told, that it's nothing new, that this is all what we sent to ourselves to remember over the years and over lots of periods. And this process has happened before. It's just that source has to bring part of itself back to keep leaping forward, and we have to write the right codes. And we're going to also receive many keys from each other and from the central sun and from the central sun also. So eye gazing, grounding, all those things are very important, and being in a state of radical self-acceptance, and learning as many tools that we can to be creative and to be purposeful throughout this process, so we can create heaven on earth, so we can go to the Christ consciousness and become the Christ and leap forward into ascension. So I hope I didn't terrify anyone because it was just an unusual dream. And then I started receiving these transmissions, but at the same time, I was so shocked with what was taking place. I didn't really think about the dream that I had back in the day, into 2018. And I just kind of received this transmission, and it kept echoing and echoing. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to share it. I don't think it's insane, and I'm not saying anything negative. It's not something I wasn't delusional or I didn't, it was just like something that came true, and it kept coming through like playing like a record. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to share it because it's not coming out of my mind. Like it's always there, it's like, so I thought I'd share. And it's really important not to fear anything, because we are creation itself, and we have to know our hearts. And we through our hearts, scientifically it's proven that the nervous system goes through our heart, and our brain is also connected to our heart. So the mind is like a space, like a computer, and we need to get out of the mind and back to our hearts and start really connecting with the creator that we are. And I think that's a beautiful analogy of all the religious theological books I've read about creation. And it doesn't matter if you're a light worker or not. This is a unified field of consciousness that we have in the heart. And I think it's such a beautiful experience to connect there, and to connect with yourself, and to learn to love yourself, and to learn to cultivate the virtues, and to learn to be in a higher vibration. Is so exciting, and it's such a wonderful adventure to leap forward in this way, that it'd be a shame to let ego get in the way of us getting to know ourselves, because you are the beautiful, the most wonderful treasure that you'll ever discover. And that's also a transmission that I received. It wasn't something I decided to say just for the sake of saying it. It's a beautiful sentence, but it's not, these words, I never created them myself. And I wanted to share that, to believe in yourself, to believe in the goodness within you, to believe in the light of your consciousness, because we all have, consciousness is like literally light. Like it's like a state of awareness and attention. When we meditate and we go to our hearts, is that level of attention and awareness we're giving to ourselves. It's not a false sense of goodness. It's just a presence that we have to observe, to be present, and to have radical self-acceptance and forgiveness for ourselves and for others that have become corrupted through hate, through power, through greed, through lust, through separation, because they are not unified with themselves, with their virtues, and they can't see the polarity between the 7 virtues and the 7 deadly sins. And they're deadly because they corrupt your system, your nervous system, and they corrupt your heart and the clarity of your mind and the clarity of your consciousness. So these energies that we create in our subconscious minds become conscious in our reality and projected through the TVs, to the music, and we all pulsating in different vibrations in lower frequencies, and is creating these distortions that we see around us. So for me, this makes complete sense when we break it down. And I was talking to this friend of mine who is an atheist, and she was like, but I don't understand. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I can't make sense of these words. And, when I talk about vibrations, these vibrations are created by the lower state of emotions and thinking and beliefs that we have. So it lowers our perception and our awareness and our consciousness into what is really real and what is truth. So if you are embodying a healthy state of mind, you will be able to see the polarity between love and hate, and all these the polarities that separate us from achieving inner peace. So I think it makes clear sense to me to observe it and to interpret it in this way. And these words of interpretation are also not like something I deducted myself. This came with the transmission, so I'm just sharing what I understood from it and what was relayed to me, to be able to explain it. And because this is not what I would normally talk about, personally speaking, although I know that I was receiving this information, it's not something that I have to remember. It's just there, so I think it's really important to emphasize that there's nothing wrong with the practices that anyone does, as long as they are based on the 7 virtues. And if we can, it doesn't mean that we have to be perfect, but if we can have radical self-acceptance and correction of our errors, then there is no violation of our free will, of our free will in the sense of the polarities and living in the inverted polarity. And this is also connected to the flower of life, and and our expansion, and it's a beautiful thing as well. So I hope that you can see the positiveness of getting to know yourself, and that you don't feel terrified or scared, because there's nothing to fear, because all the nightmares we project, they come from us, from our subconscious, for not knowing ourselves and for being in the lower polarities of the emotions. So I hope that this is a clear message, and I hope that you find it that elevates you in the right time, that you know that you got this, and that you're not alone. You're never alone. You are, like I said, the biggest treasure you'll ever get to know. Yes, so I hope you go within and find out more about that beautiful space that is your heart, and it's connected to your nervous system, and is your real brain, because it's connected to your gut, and you feel all the intuitive messages through your gut, and the health in the mind is connected to the health in the gut. So if you want to accelerate this, it's like you can clean your gut, do colonic irrigations, you can find detoxing tools and ingredients that you can do, so you can connect deeper with yourself and flush out, because like all the conditioning that we have in us is in the walls of our nervous system. So if we clear the walls of our intestines, then you can start sensing better your real emotions, and when you shift vibration, you can notice this better. So this is something I already do in my practice with clients, and I will talk about these things, and how easy it is to tap into your sensory system, and to also exercises to detox the nervous system, so we're not stuck in the lower emotions. And going within, there's so many different styles of meditation, and I can share some with you, and you can research yourself. And I hope you're open-hearted and open-minded to explore more of, and more motivated to explore more your connection with your divine self that is also within you. It's not just me, it's everyone. We all have this, I think. And if you don't, pray. No, I'm joking. But I hope I would end things in a light-hearted kind of way. And I hope you enjoy these transmissions.